I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
She looked.
I was just thinking, what a...
She looks back.
I was just thinking, what a...
She looks back.
I was just thinking, what a...
She looked.
I was just thinking,
Don't.
I was just thinking, what a...
She looks back.
I was just thinking,
She looks back. Time moves slowly.
I was just thinking, what a...
She looks back.
I was just thinking,
She looks back.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions.
Soft, light brown eyes look back at you, directly into the space behind your eye sockets. You see the smoke rise from between her painted red lips. She's beautiful. I have bad news for you. You know these guys? Who? Me? Yes, you. He's talking about you, you boring stiff. You too. Me? What did I do? These guys are compromised. She's got them singing along to her tune. The little bleeps and bloops you trust for info, you can't trust them anymore. Believe it. There's no way of knowing. At the moment, I'm afraid it's best to assume. All of them. Bullshit, man. I ain't compromised. Especially that guy. That guy's the most compromised one in here. No fucking way, man. I just want a drag of that sweet menthol ziggy. Really? Quick, tell me what's under her jumpsuit. Glory, truth, softness, protect her. She wants you. how it always does, through subtlety. There's nothing you can do about it. You are how you are, and she is how she is. Things will go as they do. No. It's better to know you're being played than to be played without knowing it, is it not? Yes, Mr. Thespian here has been singing paeans to how truthful she is. She is a lady, most fair and just. In his defense, to reduce him to such inadequacy, she probably had to employ half-truths more often than outright lies. That is correct, and omissions too. A little. They're all still of limited use, interpreting things to the best of their ability. Maybe they add flair or something. I wouldn't know. I don't add flair. But when it comes to assessments of character and factual accuracy, they are not to be trusted. Not with her. Don't be melodramatic. You can trust them. Just not with Miss Orange Disco Dancer here. You can't draw a sound conclusion. The one he usually does says, she may want to control the information rollout, not to become a suspect. She may have a past she's escaping, unrelated to this case. You doubt it's something truly insidious. See? It's oddly moderate, probably compromised. How it always does, through subtlety. There's nothing you can do about it. You are how you are, and she is how she is. Things will go as they do. No. It's better to know you're being played than to be played without knowing it, is it not? Don't worry. It's only been 4 or 5 seconds. You've got this. The silence broken. She exhales a little cloud of smoke and says,
God, no. Sure. Officer, Vredefort, Republic of Oranje. I guess you could say I am an Oranese expatriate. A bad memory, officer.
The Republic of Oranje is a democratic nation on the Muindi Isola, north of here, over the sea and across the Pale. It is one of the 6 major Occidental nations to hold stake in the continued occupation of Revachol, the coalition. People consider it a reasonable superpower.
Of lilacs and lightning, parks, glass, duraluminium. Vredefort is a conference city. It's always autumn there. And night. At least it was for me.
What's so bad about that?
Nothing, if you're no longer there. I'm 28. Something stupid. Oranese lit. Oranese literature. It's what I studied at the university. Fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be Oranese. All national literature is nothing. I do nothing with it. Cool. I've made more money by just being than I have with Oranese lit. Many things. A roller skating instructor, a secretary.
Of course she won a beauty pageant. She's very symmetrical.
I'm afraid you can't, officer.
Why is that?
Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast, along with cash and airline tickets.
Thank you for your candor.
I say so in your tourist brochure. Okie dokie.
If any of this made her nervous, it certainly doesn't show in her expression or her movements.
The record. So official. Not my favorite topic, but okay. Pretty much.
Warning them.
I'm 89% sure. You know how it is.
Do you?
Maybe you don't know. In conclusion, officer, I'm gonna go with a mild to medium not raped here. Serious.
You hear cracking in her shoulders.
Let me make this 100% clear then, officer. I was not sexually assaulted. Would I be this flippant if I had been? Oh yes. I have multiple...
A bitter cringe. He takes a small
You called us.
Yes,
jackpot.
I made it. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, they call it...
Reporting crimes is confidential in Revachol, miss.
because I couldn't handle it anymore. None of these people called. He just kept hanging there. Then they started stripping him. I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. With nail clippers. And I diverted some...
So, she's Scott's mistress.
Did I? Fuck. I didn't mean to. I had no...
Still, that's pretty clever tampering. Simple and clever. She must have had training of some kind.
I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires.
We're not entirely convinced about that answer, but okay. Let it slide. Pushing won't help here.
Thank you for making the...
I didn't want to.
We will move the body to the morgue today, miss. Don't worry.
He had something to do with the strike. One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing. but you probably know all about it.
And his role in this strike was...
I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines, and against the Union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean, but I understood it was dangerous.
And they lynched him for it?
She nods.
How about we, change the subject?
The same small, heavy door is barred from the inside. This window is pristine on the inside. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your clean-shaven face. You see a heavy steel door. It could be connected. The door does not budge. The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod. Acknowledge.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
Yes? What is it?
Hey, was there something?
Hi again, Gendarme. Bye-bye, Gendarme.
It's you again. What is it? Fuck! I knew that fucking whore couldn't be trusted.
For the record, Titus Hardy did not explicitly specify the victim as a whore, nor did he say anything about trusting her.
Oh, shut up and stay out of this, Liz! He raped her. He was out of his fucking mind. You have no idea.
She's just in denial, asshole. You don't understand the traumatic experience. She's shutting down, and she doesn't fucking trust you.
Yeah, she's crazy, you know. A crazy bitch. You know the type. She's fucked up.
This is a diversion. Stay on track.
Lawman, I'm at the end of my goddamn rope with you. I fucking told you not to push her. And you went and pushed her. I am gonna fucking...
Hit you. Duck.
Titus Hardy! Everard personally sent me to take care of this. If this goes south, we'll all be in the shit. But you, Titus Hardy, are going to be buried. Am I understood?
When she's angry, she emphasizes the S. It gives her voice a strangely hypnotic quality. Her lips barely move as she speaks.
Look, Copper. We know that fuck was a rapist and a killer. We got him confessing to it on tape. Show it to him, T. What's the harm, right?
Here, jerkwad, listen to this shit. And then come back and tell me the soldier of the apocalypse was an innocent man.
This is their last play, this tape. Their story is in tatters, a mess. It might be nice to listen to, but at this point, you don't need to.
What's on it? We call it the Dorgun a Mega Mix. You'll know why, won't you listen to it? You think we go into this shit deaf and dumb? You RCM aren't the only ones who know how to bug people. There's no university degree for that. We have machines. We're in logistics. How do you think a Harvard works? It's advanced stuff.
Understood? You've listened in on their communications. How long?
Since way before their chief started taking swing lessons.
Things got nice and quiet after that.
It's not advanced. You just hold up in a coop all day, writing down what they say. It gets hot as hell in there.
Don't put yourself down, Angus. It's important work.
Yeah, man. They're like a radio genius or something. Those notes are some in-depth stuff. Indexes and shit.
I'm sure we can find a tape player.
Where can I listen to this? Why don't you try shoving it up your ass, genius?
Yeah, play it with your ass, cocksucker.
I'm sure we can find a tape player. It's not a problem.
Your room had one. Or maybe it's too broken.
You don't care about evidence. The fuck are you a cop for, then?
Pigs, T. They don't care about getting the truth. They care about getting convictions. They are fucking keeping a score on their bulletin boards.
I won't be on your bulletin board. If you don't listen to the tape, we got nothing to talk about.
There's a lot of questions. If you ask them now, they'll just keep bringing up the tape. Listen to it, and they'll have nothing to hide behind.
Don't forget your tape, lawman. Compliments of Titus Hardy. You do that. Oh, and keep it. Maybe you'll need a reminder of human ugliness someday. Yeah? What about you do that?
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height, nothing, as before, just black branches.
What's this weirdo cop doing now, huh? Window shopping?
I think he's trying to find dirt on us, in our box. It's what they do, Changs.
Wow, no.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling, nothing. Behind the dockworkers, nothing. As
What's this?
I think he's trying.
Wow.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like nothing. Behind the dockworkers.
What's this?
Behind, there's a little slide panel up there to let nothing. Behind the dockworkers, nothing. Behind the dockworkers, nothing. Behind the dockworkers, there's a yellow ribbon tied to one of the branches. Light yellow, faded with time. A tiny splash of color in the blackness of the thicket. Hanging from it, a bronze key. Someone hid the key in the bush and attached a yellow ribbon to make it easier to find. It's close enough to the latch up there. One can slide it open and just take it. Surely not a coincidence.
Huh?
I don't know about that. I'm comfortable here. Don't think any sliding would really help right now.
Sorry, fucko. Looks like you're gonna have to go bush diving. Good fucking luck with that. The Hawthorne's got a bitch of a bite.
I'm gonna enjoy the sight of you in the bushes out there.
With a loud thud, the old man stands up, pushes the window open, grabs the key from the hawthorn branch and slides it across the table to you. The key is brass. Workshop spare is etched into its bow. The old man closes the window and sits back down in silence.
Come on, man. We were just having some fun. Where's the harm in...
I'm tired of listening to your shit. Don't thank me. I don't give two shits about your key.
Didn't even know it was there.
Boys.
No idea.
Never even seen it. Someone must have hidden it there before this room became our place.
It could open the door in the kitchen. The blue door. It says workshop spare. Maybe there's a workshop there?
It's worth a try. You see, it could be connected to the barred door. The key fits the dimple lock. It takes a bit of effort to turn it after all these years, but then the lock clicks. All these mesmerizing machines, just waiting to be plugged back in and played. Feels like it might jump back to life any moment, the lights illuminating the white-robed woman.
Some kind of inane pinball theme, probably related to Messina during the DeLorean age. The history themes are the worst.
Diora was one of the 3 crown cities of the DeLorean era, on the Muindi Isola, the others being Ria Silvia and Advesperaskit. This theme is all about early airships and beautiful, sad, pearl-laden women. It's quite nice, actually.
You can't fire them up. They are broken. Only that one machine in the main hall works. The Royalist Pinball.
What a dumb name. Royalist Pinball. If they weren't broken, he would kick one of these machines about now.
No, I love it. I love pinball. Who doesn't love pinball? Let's move on.
He doesn't.
No.
Kim Pinball Kitsuragi. Exactly. That's what he's known as. His reputation precedes him.
So now he remembers. Fine, I'm Kim Pinball Kitsuragi, aka the Kimball. You remembered. Congratulations. Wonderful. He only remembers hearing about the pinball policeman. No human being should. It is a game that requires no skill and a childlike affinity to flashing lights and to fantastique, science-fiction, and historic romance franchise. It is lame. I am not called Pinball. It was used to taunt me a long time ago, before I became a homicide detective and got my lieutenancy. Fine. I was a juvenile police officer for over 15 years. It's how I started out in the RCM. Once I had to infiltrate a pinball ring, as you do when you're a juvie cop. It was not okay. I needed to become a pinball champion. I trained for 9 months. The job was successful and I was moved out of the juvenile wing to homicide. End of story. That time is over now. I was already a 38-year-old man. It was unbecoming, as was playing pinball. It's best if you handle the juvenile delinquents. No. You're gonna call me Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Or, on rare occasions, Kim, because it's shorter. Let's go.
Any plan to call him Pinball or Kimball is immediately wiped from your neocortex, as if with some sort of mind-altering device. It is simply not going to happen. Over there, in the corner. Not just any pinball machine. This is the pinnacle of pinball. Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats. It's lit. You can't wait to get your hands on it. Lit, a phrase almost synonymous with the Insulindian pinball scene. Any pinball scene, really.
The pinball machine. Gordy's Goats, a classic. A little. Ah, great.
Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats reads the golden lettering on top of the back box. There's a small column of text underneath. The machine is coin-operated. Get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are ready. Above the painting of a mustached man climbing a hill, a column reads, inspired by the legend of Cornelius Gordy, taken on the world's tallest peak, Corpus Muindi. The Mesk legend holds that when the nation is in danger, heroic Gordy shall return and save his people. The theme of the game is to explore Gordy's climb through the perspective of goats and to ascend to the top of the mountain in a time of trouble. The peak of the mountain is at the top of the playfield. All the balls have small goat icons on them and represent the goats as they race up and down the mountain. Areas around the playfield represent Gordy's climb, places he was said to have camped, which the goats can discover. Get them to the summit. Indeed, think of them as balls. It takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty soon you're able to keep 3 goat-faced balls in play with relative ease. Go, go, Fingerboy.
I feel sorry for the gods. If they only knew the kind of guy old Cornelius really was. The kind of a guy who uses the word savages a lot when recounting his travels. A Mesk nationalist. An avid huntsman too. He was often photographed in his dining hall, surrounded by wall-mounted hunting trophies from every continent. He also hit his wife and kids, other people's kids too, sometimes pets. Hateful little man. But you seem to be having fun.
Your game is definitely improving. The Jolly Goats are flying all over the board, and although a few plummet to their deaths, you're never left with less than 3. Suddenly, a special passage leading to the summit slides open at the top of the board. This is where the balls need to go. Maneuvering a goat ball into a position for a perfect hit isn't easy. More fall to their deaths. The words "pale rupture" light up on the speaker panel, and the machine starts filling with a thick, milky fog. Something's happening.
Congratulations. This is where the game ends. It's a cheap way of getting more money out of the players. A stupid, nihilistic finale.
There's so much fog, you can barely see anything. Some is actually leaking out of the machine, and one by one, your goats start slipping, disappearing into the milky nothingness. This can be navigated. The balls leave almost imperceptible disruptions in the fog. Use them to calculate where they hit next. You're down to your last goat, going mostly by sound. Eyes are useless at this point, but that goat is something special. 5 times you snatch him back from the jaws of death.
I am. I've seen it before. Played it too. You will eventually make a mistake and then it's all over.
How, if you can't even see it? The last goat plummets into the fog with almost suicidal glee. There goes nothing, finger boy. This small elevator is dimly lit by a bulb that's been glowing for ages. The latticed smells of nougat and sweat. Your head brushes up against the ceiling. There is a control panel to your right, and just enough room for 2 people to fit in. There are large rectangular buttons, monter, descend, and an international call for emergency assistance. That third one appears to be broken. A small steel plaque reads Halter 800. Halter is a Koningsteiner lift company who went out of business a long time ago.
Seems like a small freight elevator for transporting machinery. For that, it's pretty quaint.
So this is where they brought 40 pinball machines to fix them up, a long time ago. Everything is covered with dust now. The lieutenant looks around the dusty, crowded room, inspecting the tools on the shelf.
Looks like it. I'm guessing Martinez North 22 used to be a pinball arcade before it became a hostel. There are machines left over. Downstairs in the hall, next to the main door. One of them even works. I've seen one of the hearties bang away at it.
Remember the dice maker? Then that means...
Ah, yes, as the novelty dice maker said. This has absolutely nothing to do with the case, I'm sure. But I do like a nice little connection. At some point, 20 years ago, 15 maybe, before pinball went out of vogue. If that's true, then our cafeteria manager is not going to like it. We should tell him what we found up here, omitting that suspicion. He does not appear to be the kind of man who likes his establishment to be part of a neighborhood ghost story about bankruptcy.
Stupid superstition. But still, it would be interesting to see what the cafeteria manager thinks of this. You clearly see footprints in the downy carpet of dust covering the workshop floor.
Jackpot. These, unlike everything else here, are new. 3 weeks maximum from the dust coverage. It could easily have been 1 week too. You know, officer, it was a stereo investigation after all. It has now converged with our main investigation, adding a new fact to consider. It means someone snuck through what seemed like a secret route, behind Classius' room, in the recent weeks. This may prove to be significant.
Large prints, most likely made by Boots. The size is hard to determine. Sole could be bigger than Vamp. The soles have left a pattern, uniform, horizontal lines. This print is unlike one left by a regular worker boot. It is not a brand sole with logos on it. It seems custom-made or old-fashioned. Shoe size is 41 to 42, maybe 43. It could be a large-footed woman or a small to average-footed man. This is, unfortunately, the worst, most vague shoe size there is.
The size looks about the same, actually. They are not the same shoe, but they could be the same person. No, these little horizontal lines are different. They look custom-made to me, or some kind of foreign print. Hard to say. Still a boot, though.
Everything around you is quiet. The prints crisscross the workshop floor. This is the barred door you tried to kick in before.
Unless we've veered off into a folded M dimension, I'm expecting to step out on the roof. We could ask Class about this route, see how she reacts.
Folded M dimension, a reference to the popular science fiction series, In System. Look who's in a good mood suddenly, and reads science fiction. The door shudders a bit, as though it were laughing at you.
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain? It sounds like the boys would have preferred my saying it did happen. I didn't want to get caught up in this. What does that recording say?
We are in the process of listening to...
She nods, exhaling a dense cloud of cigarette smoke. Six crumbling petals rest on your palm. They're white, a bell-shaped crown.
This is the Insulindian lily, called Maybelle's or Lucille's tears during the Revolution. Girls used to pin these on soldiers before sending them off to battle.
This flower is a spring flower, but it's a bit early for that, isn't it?
The revolutionaries, so the commoners and the anarchists. White's their color, but the custom started in the suzerain's army, so it held meaning for the kingsmen too. It's about girls and boys more than sight. Girls sending off boys who are going to their deaths, then also dying themselves in the ruins from dysentery and consumption. It's a symbol of the Civil War. Yes, but not this early, not to my knowledge. It looks dried, preserved. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
The petals feel dry and fragile in your hand. Water flows under the channel bridge. Dark water. You rub your sides for warmth, but there is none. Inland, above the Martinez distributary, the channel that brought wastewater from the silk mills of Jamrock, and then dead bodies during the war. The wrinkled fingers of an old man crush flower petals, then sprinkle them in the stream like white salt. Rene, That old man in the uniform. Maybe you should show it to him when you get the chance. The porter reel is just what you needed. The reels attach to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader. You push Command Set, and the tape starts spinning. Violent static and machine sounds fill the air.
This isn't Revachol. This is a fucking village. I can almost see the elephants.
The harbor. That's the son of a Kvalson crane.
When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the Apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens too. Gonna run a room, Cordy. A real nice room. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally. I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, the dance a whore upstairs. Do it Kohoi style. Never did get that taste out of my mouth.
The lieutenant presses the button marked Arrête on your porter reel. The tape stops spinning.
End of recording. It seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off the shortwave, then edited to seem more incriminating. He sounded like he was on patrol around the harbor walls. Yes, it was just locker room talk. Corty could be short for Cortenard, one of the other mercenaries, the one he was talking to. Probably the mountain at the harbor gates. Mr. Right to Work. A village on the Samaran Isola, in South Safre. Grad committed war crimes there, the kind of thing he talks about.
The South Safre conflict is an ongoing proxy war between Grad and Safre. It has been hot for 12 years, with the atrocities piling on, mostly committed by the Grad.
Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. Or maybe Kohoi is just merc talk for atrocity, slaughter.
A symbol of soldier of the apocalypse style conduct in a civil environment.
I think we've got a few more questions for class here, don't you? This seems to contradict her testimony, at least to some degree.
As you take out the tape, the boombox tunes itself back to the cheery radio again, spewing out beats like it's a Friday night.
Hello, officer. What brings you up here again?
She puts her coffee cup down. With a soft ring, as the porcelain meets the metal table.
Did he? I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions. Only that he was never bad to me.
She doesn't care. If anything, she sounds amused.
Where did they get this recording exactly?
It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via a de-encryption station. It's authentic enough.
Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style? Yeah, That was practically his pickup line. Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Kohoi style? He liked the way it sounded when he said it. As to Kohoi, he wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour, or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little Kohoi. It wasn't his everything. No, I'm pretty sure he did all those things, and then had to internalize them to keep on living. Running joke. I was gonna say running joke. And it sounds like you didn't even get the good bits. Lely's punchlines got way, way funkier than that. He was like the Seminoles conflict, the Kohoi massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezut all rolled into one person, then cast in Orani ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower. We're all scraping up any happiness we can find, officer. Going around with our little scouring sticks. You, your first love, Mr. Kohoi here.
Did he tell you he had actually done any of those things? In Martinez, I mean?
No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be.
What kind of man was he? Before you go, ask for details. She seems okay to talk about it.
Thank you for clearing that up, miss. Whenever you're ready. I'm interested to hear what Titus Hardy has to say now.
She takes a very small sip of her coffee and smiles.
Like, for example, his name?
Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely.
A nickname?
I guess. He came from Lelystad. It's short for that. And it was his army name, apparently. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but it was no use.
Lelystad. That's a good start. It just occurred to me, colleague. We still haven't performed a field autopsy on the deceased. The questions I have assume some kind of foreknowledge on our part. I suggest we go and perform it now, and return once we've brought ourselves up to date. Miss, excuse my colleague, he has recently suffered brain damage. We will now go and do our duty, cleaning up the deceased. You won't have to look at that site much longer, I promise. We will return soon.
Officer, it's a fine day.
Like, for example...
Actually,
a nickname?
I get...
Lily, it just took... The questions I have assume some kind of foreknowledge on... Alright, but quickly. She has endured that site long enough. It's time for us to do our duty.
The young woman nods in silent approval, then feeds herself another cigarette.
Like for...
Actually,
The questions I have... Excuse the delay, miss. The situation will be addressed.
The young woman nods. man ponders his cooking utensil.
Hey, was there something you needed? Another thing. Great. I love those. Why? No, fuck it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know why these degenerates do what they do. I thought we had one good guest in the building. Yeah, well, she's not a guest, is she? Anyway, I'll forward that woman her bill and be done with it. Now, was there anything else? Oh, okay, well, I did hear you make noise back there, so good for you.
He's really holding himself back here. It takes a lot of willpower not to ask. Obviously, he's been wanting to know what's behind the door.
Okay, what is back there? Yes, haha, what's actually behind there? Ha! I knew it. I've always wondered where those machines by the door came from. And they told me there was some kind of pinball thing here too. I knew it. Were there any back there? In working order, I mean. No, I was just wondering if you found pinball machines there.
He was wondering about something business-related, about how much money he could make of one.
Those machines are whirling property, but if it makes you feel any better, I'm not planning to sell them. It wouldn't hurt to get a little life in here, other than the hellish...
Yeah, those numbers he's adding up must be making good sense to him right now.
What? Why would you say that? We're at a completely different address from that whole thing.
So he knows of the doomed commercial area and its address.
Everyone knows of it. I've been working here for a long time, and that intercom has never been used by the Whirling. It's a sign of the Whirling in rags not being part of the doomed commercial area. If anything, we're revitalizing this neighborhood.
Relax, Mr. Gart. I'm sure there is no doom. He simply wants to share his discoveries with you.
Does this look like part of a doomed commercial area? This pre-revolutionary tilework? These high ceilings? The nice rooms? Well, most of the rooms. For 14 years, man. That's how long I've worked here. I've kept this place up through hail and through sleet. Fuck me, if some doom ghost... Yeah, it's slowly growing on me again. It's beautiful in its own way, even if it is part of the damn doomed commercial area. I don't place much stock in the curse and so on, but the label frightens the clientele. Who wants to stay at a doomed hostel? Everything's doomed enough without that. Well, it sure as hell wasn't the real estate company.
It was you?
You look surprised. What? It's a great name, I know. Cafeteria managers come up with great names too. It's from a song. Hail, Holy Queen, by the Ateniers. Hail, Holy Queen of the Sea. You're whirling in rags, you're vast and you're sad.
Good pick.
Luck has got nothing to do with it. I need to think about where I'm going to place those pinballs. I have a feeling they're going to help.
Against the doom, it's implied.
So, if you didn't have anything else to tell me about my establishment, can we, wrap it up? Yes?
Oh, sorry, officer. What do you want? René wasn't really what you'd call a botanist, officer. And believe me, he didn't like Insulindian lilies. That's their old name, dating back to the time of kings and crests, and all that other stuff he loved so much. There were many reasons, but mostly it was the communals. They called them the Bells of Revolution. I guess in the end, the Insulindian lilies were just another piece of the whole Insulinde. The Royalists had to surrender to the Mazovian insurgents. It doesn't really matter anymore.
Hi, Ace Detective.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks,
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits. Yes, the Simonees are very crafty, and their wards are extremely powerful. Lesser wards simply won't do here.
The woman looks aloof.
Goodness, you were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop?
She smiles and nods. The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
It's dark. And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand. Yes, you might even call it a feature of the universe that you need to hold tools to use them. Right, now let's get to it.
Some areas are inaccessible without your flashlight. After you've acquired it, go to your inventory and equip it in a held...
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? How did I be? Some of my friends were role players. I've grown crafty over... I'm sorry. I'm a bit overloaded just now, so I can own nothing.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook.
Your window looks directly onto the...
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on.
She nods.
Anything else, officer? Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Aside from
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Aside from getting naked, you're not sure what else to do. The building holds no more answers for you.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere.
Didn't we already talk about this? What are you talking about? My address is exactly the same. Rue de Saint-Guilain 10.
No, the old coal plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture. Its ruins swallowed up, yet it has a different address in the heart of the city.
This doesn't make any sense. Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from? You're right. I should take a trip to the roof once the snow is gone. Does it mean that I'm safe from failure?
She starts laughing, her fingers trying to rub away the exhaustion from her face.
Do you know what this is? It's a mourning ring. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it into the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan. It wasn't just the jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world, that you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed. And now you're telling me what? That it was all because I didn't run my little shops and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney? Yeah. Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed. It's such a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you want it. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be, you can try again. Still, there is something inherently violent even about dice rolls. It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. Some alternative ending or an entirely different world. But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the frame.
I've got nothing to say to you.
It's you again. What is it? Anne. That fucking fucker. You're the worst cops in Revachol. I gave you gold on that tape.
That fucker wasn't aimed at you. It was at her.
Fucking fuckity fucker. And what did she say then? That it's fine. People are supposed to be like that.
Yes. In fact, I think she thought it was a little funny.
Funny? No good goddamn psycho whore. Alright. All fucking righty then. I guess it's good then. That fucking...
Please try to control yourself in the presence of visitors, Titus.
This is just perfect. Just fucking perfect. Any thoughts on this, lawmen?
You don't have to say everything out loud. Just mix and match.
Nah, I know her. She's just a girl. In over her head. Yeah, you're right about that. She takes way too many drugs.
Well, it's as they say. You can't do anything with an underdose.
Yeah, underdose isn't an actual word.
Yeah, but I mean, she has an actual drug problem. Not like you. Not like us. I don't think I've ever seen her sober. Yeah, maybe. That is a possibility. I already told you. We fucking hanged him.
The man is slowing down. Looks like a bad blood sugar crash. He can't keep track of all the variables anymore. Who could? It's getting harder and harder to perform one's part in this sordid play. All it takes is a nudge.
Come on, Titus. The stakes are too high here. There will be blood on the streets. The tribunal, remember. I know you're tired. Why don't you just...
You know what? I am tired. I'm tired of you, them, and the whore upstairs. Next time you see her, tell her Titus said, "Fuck on!" That lying, scamming. We're done. This is over. You understand? Your little investigation is over.
Yeah.
What is this quiet funeral shit? All we need is some beers in us. Bartender, 20 beers for the Dock Workers Union.
Why do we make it 40, huh? Why do we make it 100 beers? You're not loud enough.
100 beers? Now we're talking. Hoppity hop over here, cafeteria manager.
Convince Titus he's being manipulated. You should know by now. Titus Hardy will never falter. Just remember, it's about more than Glasia. It's about these men and Martinez, their district. They're outside in the midday sun, ruins. The pavements are cracked and the benches peeling. Newspapers blow in the wind.
Huh?
He'll get it. Go on.
Got it. Kill you because they don't like you. All because...
Goddamn right, this is Union Town. You work for the company, we will kill you.
Fuck, Dennis. We don't kill you if you work for the company. Half the harbor works for the company.
work for the wrong company, and they execute you.
It wasn't that. It wasn't... We just couldn't get him down, okay?
That's it. That's the weak one. You flushed him out. Now go in for the...
Officer, you will be next if you don't shut up.
He's onto you. He knows what you're trying to do. Steel yourself. Push on. Just ignore Theo.
We didn't kill him. We didn't even hang him. He was dead when...
Shut up, Angus!
Fatty! Say one more thing to the cops and I'll...
Dennis, stand down, or I'll beat your head in. Theo, take your hand off the belt. This isn't 31. I've got this under control. Angie, where's your goddamn inhaler? You sound like you're dying.
I left it home. I can't get it. I'm too fucked. I'm sorry.
Why are you so fucking fat, Angus? Now it's all pointless. Because of you. You wasted my time. I told you, Titus. I told you just give her up.
Lizzie, your help is no longer needed here. Go tell Everard.
Fine. I'll tell him. After a long walk along the coast.
You're in. He's all yours. Questions?
Not yet. Just some ideas. She says the shot came from outside, behind the window somewhere. So that's a clue. I'm thinking someone's past caught up with them. Either hers or his.
Hers, you mean?
She's got one of those checkered pasts. The shot could have missed. Could have been meant for her.
I like that. Been thinking the same thing myself.
My dude. One of those mercenary buddies of his could have done it. They got guns, training, years of bad blood, probably. Or it could have been someone else from Crenell. Tell you what I'd do. Check out the coast for vantage points. Maybe consult with a ballistics buddy of mine. That's what I'd do. If I wasn't too busy doing this clown dance with you.
He's calm now. Threw all that turmoil away and became himself again. He nods.
You hanged the corpse to cover up the real cause of death. What was it?
We're not sure. Probably a bullet. The wound was difficult to see, cause the girls asked us to. They were in some shit.
Girls plural? There's another girl? 2 of them? Take note of this. They'll probably say more about her later.
Did she kill him?
Cop, I have no idea. The girl says she didn't. Classier came down. She seemed really out of it. Drugged up, even more than usual. Bug-eyed and gurning, you know? Not in a fun way. It looked like she'd redosed after something went down. I've seen that look before. She was scared. I knew someone had died. I've done this job for 10 years. I've seen it before. It's the politician in the motel room with the dead hooker scenario. Only in reverse.
Good analogy, boss.
You don't get to talk yet, Shanky. You're still on the bench. And you keep taking it easy too, Angus. We went upstairs. Sure as day the merc was dead. There was a bullet hole through the window. Fucking dirty sheets and bottles everywhere.
He means they'd been fucking?
Tibbs patched the window. And the corpse we hanged. Nah, he's my brother. He's in the window replacement business. You may have noticed our girl's in some shit of her own. Yeah, she wouldn't. She's fucked if she shows up on police radar. They're powerful, connected to the moral intern. She's clearly afraid for her life. Says if she showed up in your systems, she'd be ghosted away.
That's all he knows. That's all she's told him.
And why would you help someone like that? By taking on a murder?
Why would I? I guess we abide all sorts of runaways and losers here. It's a Martinez thing. In a manner of speaking.
Remember the two girls? He may be talking about the other one.
That's right. It was her idea to hang him. I liked it for political reasons. It sent a good message. Fella, you think too much. He's off all right. You're gonna hurt your head. That woman is just affiliated with the Hardy Boys. You don't know her, anyway. Nope. You're not getting to her. It's Klasia you want to talk to. Me too.
The lieutenant gives a smile only you can see.
You do that. Hey, cop. Before you go.
Suddenly, the wind picks up outside. You hear it rattling the large windows in their frames. It carries newspapers, circles the whirling in rags in a warm column.
She, Klasia, came to Martinez to hide. Many of us did. This is where you wash up when there's nowhere left to go. The Union takes you in. Now, she refused that protection. But that's right. If we didn't take care of the people who end up here, this place would just be a couple of ruins and some cargo containers.
We'll take that into account.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
It's always good to see you. I understand.
Just like that. No resistance. Her shoulders are slouched, her feet long and straight.
I didn't lie. Not a lot. I've done my absolute best not to.
'Tis true. The lady hath tried to avoid falsehoods. Come on. She lied through her teeth, and you know it.
It was a mistake. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two, then move on to questions. No, it's not good. It's the opposite of that. This will let her dictate the terms of your... Shush, I can't hear what she's saying.
Why did you waste our time then?
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. Out of the shit I'd gotten into. You're right. There's more. You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern.
Briefly glancing over her shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again. A grand expanse of water reaches over the bay and to the horizon, golden grey in the noonlight. The Pearl, the Muindi Isola, the Occident, and then Aranye, the old, old world.
You share a database with them. You send people to their courts. I wish it did, but sadly no. I have people after me, and they have friends in the moral intern. Some are moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me.
What happens if they do?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
Here we go. For once, you seem to have her off guard.
We were there. Together. In bed, I mean. Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass. I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see. I could.
Her chest rises and falls with each word. She keeps herself together and says it.
I knew he was dead before he fell down on top of me. He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs. I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
She looks down with a wince. Her cigarette has singed her fingers. She throws it away and immediately proceeds to light another one.
What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you could be as precise as possible.
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking.
Wait. Titus said she was gurning her jaw off, much more than usual.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No. Nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot. Just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore. So I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there. Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the Union box was full. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Ruby?
Ruby. You know, the leader.
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys. Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
Why not? Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation, that I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
It's a shame we never got around to doing a thorough autopsy. And when was the tampering? 20 minutes after death?
About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the blood... You know what he does. Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do, make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would. Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while, that we should lay low or something. So I did. I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
Interesting. Why did this Ruby go through so much trouble to hide something someone else did? Look into this later. What are you doing? Coming up with a theory. She said Ruby knew something was wrong before she said anything. How come? It was loud downstairs. She couldn't have heard the shot. It is ominous. You already coming up with theories that put the blame on someone other than Clausia.
When he was shot? I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding. It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Ravishol, or even in Oranje.
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again, with a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers, 2 decades worth of accounting.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
The job was Louisdouen County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Louis Scott conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them. As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too, along with Louis Scott and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive. Yeah. Papa fucking Lolo wants to kill me. Sure, I'm not a war criminal, but it was bad. People lost their jobs. Good people, too, not just C-suite. A lot of people got hurt, but that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're so... What? Why would I put myself through this? Insanity. Get myself cornered like this. He wouldn't have died if it weren't for me. I know that. But I would never hurt him.
He was a serviceman. He must have had a gun. Somewhere, lying around. Close to her hand. Now, you guys suddenly have theories pouring out. When they're obviously just stabs in the dark.
I did not kill him to defend myself from rape. I told you before. That wasn't what happened.
True, sire. 'Tis true.
I'm sad to hear that. They must have said it in some fit of frustration or under pressure. They couldn't have meant it. I've talked to them after it happened. No one has implicated me. No, I specifically asked him not to carry firearms when he was with me. He only had his stupid armor. Like what? That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break. I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone so they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me.
We can't go after Louis Cap. Not yet. There are other, saner leads.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there. Because I'm an idiot.
Which is an indicator of truth. Idiot. She's nothing of the sort.
You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off, and that little fucker threw stones at him.
Her jaw is clenched. Her throat moves. It takes all her strength not to cave in and sob. Once. Just one time.
He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud, thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Ravishol.
She definitely called the cops. That was task complete. It could not have been a lie. That is impossible. Oh God, that was a lie too. Who made the call then? She did, of course.
Last week, Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it.
You should have another look at that window after this. Reconstruct the scene. It's right there. Yes, you see the glass sparkling out of the cup. She nods, silently. She doesn't even smoke. Just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands. He's thinking, are we, or should we arrest her? She's a flight risk and she lied to you. She should be taken into custody. No, that won't be necessary. Just leave her alone. She's been through enough. She doesn't need this police brutality. This guy won't budge. You have to wake Multiface up, forcefully, if you want to continue pushing her. Who? What? Dear God, you've been lied to. She could have killed her lover and lied to everyone. She's not candid at all. She's smoke and mirrors and willow-wisps. She probably didn't give you her real name either. Why would she? Arrest her immediately, before she further entangles you in her web of lies. Take it easy. Don't overcompensate with this course correction. Ask questions first. Yes, start at the top. Choose at the bottom. It's how we've always done it. No rush. See?
I agree. You wouldn't give us your real name, not when people are after you.
Okay. Okay, it's not. You log your work every week. It's all transmitted to Common, sir. I couldn't just beg you not to enter my name. So I lied. Like I lied before. Like I did at LCSB. I have to lie all the time. I'm so tired of it. No, it's submerged in a plastic buoy on the coast, in the reeds. It just doesn't say Clausia Amandu. It says Anouk Mea Smith.
Falsified documents?
Passport and visa. Given to me by my employer. I can't even use them. My employer probably leaked the name, Mea Smith, to hurt me.
Why would they do that?
I didn't show up to a rendezvous. They don't take that lightly. I didn't show up because I was afraid they'd do something to me. The job was finished. I'm just a liability now. It's Katarzyna Lazie.
It's a Grad name, Jimsk or Yugo-Grad in origin. Not Occidental at all. Smells of motor oil, tiger, economic desolation, and rock music-infused alcoholism.
My parents were Zhemsk immigrants, but I'm nationalized Oranese. All I remember is Oranje. Alasie is my father's name.
She nods. Her round eyes meet yours. They seem moist from the wind on the roof.
West of the boardwalk, in the reeds, on the coast there. I put it there when I first arrived. Haven't been there since. It's useless.
The lieutenant makes a note of it.
You're welcome to it. It's in the reeds northwest of here, past a broken sewage pipe, right near the water line. I am. They can never take my sash and my scepter from me.
Yes, they can, for lying. She nods, her back straight, ready for whatever is next.
I did. What is this? I called your desk or whatever it is. The numbers are all over town. Call 8-100-2 for emergencies. There was an older woman on the other end. It sounded like she was smoking. She took my complaint. She coughed.
That is the emergencies desk number. Anyone could know that, sire, by looking around and calling the desk. I don't believe a single word she says.
What time did you make the call?
Thursday night. It was late, sometime after 12.
It checks out.
But I know the time of the call, too. I know I have not been 100% truthful with you, officers, but I am now.
There may be grounds here, at least for an extended detention.
A little whimper. The young woman hears you. She's looking around. She slowly lights another cigarette and steadies her breath, as if in the presence of some tiger. You are. This is not the end of this.
Lies.
Yes, we demand she be punished for deceiving us. We demand her anxiety.
But I haven't done anything illegal.
She purposefully misrepresented fucking mind games. That's right, gang. Stern and merciless now. Stern and merciless as we reel her in. The lieutenant produces a pair of handcuffs.
Please, no.
But there's nowhere to go. A 2-story drop to the Plaza Mosaic. If she could, she would have run before.
I think I know who did it. Who shot Lely. I can tell you. I can help you.
She's silent for a second, as if looking into herself for certainty. Then, in a hushed voice, she says,
Ruby. She has this thing for me, ever since I met her and the boys downstairs. She's been pretty frank about what she wants. Sex, and more. I made the mistake of confiding in her. I told her I was on the run. She started protecting me. It became an unhealthy relationship. When I started spending time with Lely, she told me to end it. Said there would be shit if I didn't. It was not a good meeting. We stopped talking after that, but...
I don't understand. What exactly in your relationship made you think she's romantically interested in you?
She said she's in love with me. She even asked me to run away with her when I told her I'm a fugitive. She started developing notions about our relationship.
And you led her on?
A little. I was flattered, you know? But then I had to let her off, and it was not easy. I came to regret being friendly with her. We maybe kissed, nothing more. I know what it sounds like. That's why I didn't want to tell you before. But she knew what had happened when I came downstairs. Somehow, she knew Lely was dead. She wasn't surprised at all. When we came up here, she was calm as a stone, too. She cleaned it all up like she had a plan.
This is a familiar theory. You had it too, remember? Could it be that Ruby was covering up after herself? The lynching? Yet again, you're coming up with this. The worst thing is, it may be true.
She came over one night, drunk, said she'd turn my life into a living hell. I've been threatened before, so I can tell when someone knows how to do it. And she's a pro. She must be. To keep the Hardys in line. I tried severing ties with her after that. I thought it had worked, but...
Some of that fear is still with her. She exhales sharply. What are you talking about? She's afraid you'll arrest her.
You've been through there, right? I saw you come out. It leads downstairs. She could have come to the roof through that, then made the shot right here, where I stand. It was dark outside. I wouldn't have seen her.
Then slipped back downstairs without anyone noticing. That is possible.
Interesting theory. Did she know that door exists? Had you been out there with her?
Yes, of course. She's been up here many times, jacking private stations off the ring antenna. She used to come here to drink on the roof with me, before it got weird.
Okay, and what? Arrest the liar now. She's stuck here. She's already in prison. Look around. She's only trying to help you. Her. Stop letting her distract you.
Thank you. Thank you. You won't regret it.
Something tells you, you will. She nods, then nervous.
Okay.
She slowly lights another cigarette and steadies.